Here.
Bunslus.
Here.
Teal.
Here.
Mayor Spinner.
Here. Second item is pledge allegiance.
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our item number 2, approval of the agenda.
Mayor Spooner,
Yes.
make a motion to approve the July 8, 2025 City Council meeting and the
No,
2025
approval of
agenda.
the agenda. Approval of
Oh.
the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Damboya, second by Ross. All those in favor of the agenda.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Item number 3, Police Chief John Sherwin. Police Department Sergeant and Captain promotions and introductions. Thank you to everyone here in the crowd.
Thank you for having us here tonight, Mayor and members of the council. As you recently know, we had several retirements that we lost 6 decades of law enforcement experience that necessitated us to have a promotional process for both sergeants and captains, two sergeants and one captain. They write books on things like succession planning and corporate America, and they never get to the real trick is you have to have good people. And tonight we have a few good people that I'm going to introduce you to that stepped forward during the promotional process, that went through written tests and oral interviews and peer evaluations and supervisors evaluations and a whole list of things. And they're here tonight to be recognized. Sergeant Carl Willers, why don't you come on up, and you're welcome to bring any member of your family if you want. We'd like to do a ceremonial pinning of their badge. Now, everyone here has been promoted for at least a month, but they've already had their badges, but this gives the families an opportunity. I assured them this would be less than 5 minutes. So, and next up is Sergeant Adam Marvin. And finally, we have Captain Matt Long. We're not going to do a pinning because Matt is our detective, our investigations captain, and he's not in uniform. So it would be really hard to pin. We just wanted to recognize him before you. And
Congratulations.
thank you.
And before everybody runs through the door, I just want to say on behalf of the council, thank you for all you guys do day in and day out, 365 days a year. The citizens of Faribault appreciate everything you do. Thank you guys. Everybody.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
I'm not running for chief of police.
Bye.
All right, on to Item number 4, approval of the minutes of July 8, 2025 and July 15th special city council meeting.
Mayor Spooner,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve the meeting of July 8, 2025 city council meeting, 2025 special city council meeting.
Second.
I have a motion by Don Booyah, second by Van Sluis. All those in favor of the minutes signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Minutes are passed. Request to be heard, seeing no one here, that's obviously nobody. Consent agenda items. We have consent agenda items 6A through 6J. Would anybody like anything pulled for discussion?
Mayor Spooner.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda items 6A through 6J.
Motion by Ross for 6A through 6J, seconded by Don Booyah. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? They are passed. Public hearings, we have none tonight. Items for discussion, number 8. Resolution 2025-185, approval of the agreement with DIC Holdings LLC concerning a utility transformer. Director Mark Duchesne will give us.
Actually, it'll be me.
Oh, it's Jessica.
It is me. So unless Mark wants to chip in on anything.
Well, he's one of the staff member I've been dealing with on this, so excuse me for that.
It's been a real team effort on
But
this
a
one.
team effort.
Yes, including Dave. We don't want to leave out Dave Wanberg in the back there on this one either. So this was a situation that was brought forward to us from Matt Drevlo, who is the owner of DIC Holdings, who owns 322 Central Avenue, which is formerly 318 Central Avenue. It's now combined, in a number of parcels combined into one address. And this was related to the project to basically improve the alley by what was to become the police station back in 2008, 2009, when that was under discussion. And it was basically requesting that the building owners be part of a project to reconfigure their parking, essentially. And there was it was bid out as an addendum to the original kind of parking lot alleyway improvement project back in 2009. There then came with Matt presented us this agreement that a prior city administrator had signed back in 2009 and basically said the city never did anything with the transformer. We all met out on site. And indeed, the transformer sits below ground level. You can easily see that. That then necessitated what was months of research and also research on Xcel Energy's side to just try and figure out what didn't happen in 2009 because I wasn't here. Mark was actually the engineer on the project, but working for a private sector employer and not the city of Faribault. And then Dave was certainly not here either. So there was a lot of research that needed to be done. And based on that research, we really came up with we can all agree the transformer still needs to be raised. Work did not happen in 2009. The addendum for the other work that was referenced in that agreement that DIC Holdings provided did happen as part of this bid addendum, but the transformer wasn't in it. And I say that we expected that because Xcel Energy is really the only entity that can raise a transformer. I looked back at our old financial system to see what payment information we had, what could I find, where was this project being paid out of, and could not find that there was a payment related to this project that came out of the city's coffers in 2008, 2009, or 2010 that was related to $2,500 or less to Xcel Energy or a private property owner who we would have assumed probably would have been the one that would have contracted with Xcel to complete the work. And so we basically can sit here and say nothing happened. Like this was not work the city had previously paid for. That we're basically where we are in 2025 was where we are in 2009. And so as we worked with, Mark did a wonderful job of communicating with the Xcel Energy to figure out what we could do, what would that cost estimate look like, and ultimately what we have before you tonight is a cost estimate of $2,511 with Xcel Energy. to raise the transformer, which does require us to bring in gravel, which we would be doing kind of on an in-kind basis for this to happen. But the other part that's tricky with Excel is that transformer cannot be powered when they're lifting it. And so the agreement that you have before you with DIC Holdings, which we're asking for approval of both the Excel agreement and the agreement with DIC Holdings, is basically saying we will pay for this work and we will provide the gravel. However, we need you to coordinate with the building owners and tenants that will be impacted by this shutoff, which could be 4 to 8 hours. We have no idea, and we don't know a date because we're just going to be putting, as soon as we sign this, we'll be putting Excel's queue. And so I did hear from Matt Drevlo here this afternoon, who said that he had no issues with that. He said he might need some help identifying some contact information for some tenants and owners, and I think that's something that we can certainly assist with as well too. So this is something that has been an issue for 15 years, and we'd like to bring it to conclusion with your approval of this resolution and the signing of both agreements.
So does the PD have generator backup?
The PD will not be affected by this. It's just Central Avenue properties that are basically 322, the whole building north to 4th Avenue.
So why did we agree to get involved in this? City of Faribault's benefit. I'm not following.
I think that I have some respect for what was done and agreed to back in 2009. The city clearly agreed to pay some money. Ultimately, I would say there's probably more that the city is able to do working with Excel as a partner with Excel than what an individual would be able to do as a private property owner. And so to bring this to as quick of a closure as possible and resolve this issue, that's I think why we're getting involved. It is completely unorthodox to put private dollars towards improvements on private property. However, I think we do have a clear sort of basis that there was going to be public dollars into improvements on private property from 2009. That just didn't happen.
Sure, I guess what I'm asking is that transformer was probably put in because of our project, or is it pre-existing?
It was pre-existing, but I think upgraded as part of the project.
So when the police station project was done and we redid the alley, there was a transformer that existed south of this property that would have been in the alley that needed to be removed. So the conductors that were served from that transformer were moved to this existing transformer behind 318. Modifying where the parking and alleyway was for those properties on the north half of the block. Grading and some sidewalks, and the transformer was all part of that project to redevelop that north half of the block.
Okay.
To facilitate the PD. And for whatever reason, being the project engineer for construction on that project,
Yeah, I'm just
well, for
more
whatever reason, the
curious.
transformer didn't get addressed at that time, and as the administrator mentioned, now we'd like to just clean this up, put this one to bed, and move on.
Anybody else?
Spooner?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-185.
I have a motion by Rowan, second by Teal to approve resolution 2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Thank you. On to item number 9, bids. Resolution 2025-177, 178, 179, 180, and 181 will all be discussed. Director Mark Duchesne.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. Yes, we'll bundle 177 through 180 together. They're all part of the same contract that was bid, or same city project that was bid into 4 separate contracts, and that is for our 2025 citywide tree removal program. The city has been soliciting requests from residents to be included in a voluntary tree removal, disease tree removal program back in April and May. Once we assembled all of the requests, we as staff went out and identified the trees, compiled the list, which we then put out for bidding. As we were building this project, we identified the need to possibly do this in 4 about equal sections. So just trying to facilitate as many bidders as we could possibly get, not relying on one bidder to take on all 180 some trees. So we broke it into 4 separate contracts. Divided the town up, like I said, about as evenly as we could, looking at geography of the trees and whatnot. Council approved going out for bids. Bids were originally due on July 16th. We had some contractors that requested a little bit more time to get around to all the trees, so we did extend the bid date to this morning at 11, at which time we opened up all 4 contracts. Contracts are fairly similar. Run through them. They're labeled AA, Double B, Double C, Double D. So the first contract for Double A, we had 3 bidders for that contract. The low bidder was From the Ground Up out of Owatonna. See the spread there amongst the bidders. Second package for area Double B, again From the Ground Up was the low bidder. Same 3 bidders as the first project. You will note that on the last 3 contracts here, we did have to adjust the bids. I was notified late last night, early this morning, that there were 14 trees that people had asked us to include in the project, that the contractors went out in the last couple weeks and said those trees are no longer there. No one told us that they were taking down their trees absent, so we adjusted the bids based on not including those trees. It did not change the low bidder in any way, but we did think that was the fairest way to evaluate these bids. So that's why there's the double asterisk on these 3. Third project area, Double C, again, From the Ground Up was the low bidder. We did have 4 bidders on this section for some reason, and a little bit tighter there at the bottom. And then the final area, the D area, again, back to the 3 bidders from the first 2 projects. I did follow up with From the Ground Up this afternoon, confirmed that they understood that by accepting all 4 project area contracts that they were still responsible for meeting the completion deadline of October 22nd. They confirmed that they still intend to meet that project deadline, and they're ready to get going. Project schedule pending award of contract tonight. We will be sending out the consent assessment agreements tomorrow and Thursday to get them out to the folks. That's when folks have the chance to see what the cost for their tree or trees on their properties are, and then they are due back to us at Public Works by August 7th, a 2-week turnaround timeline for them to get those back to us so that we can timely get those notices to the contractors so they know which trees are actually included in the final contract. Tree removal we anticipate will happen between August 8th and October 22nd. Around the beginning of October, we'll be sending out the assessment hearing notices to those properties. They've waived their right to the assessment hearing notices. Keep them informed of the process so they know when to expect their assessment mailing to come that says here's 30 days that you have to pay off your assessment. We're payable starting in 2026, and I believe we're doing 5-year assessment terms.
5-year.
At about, if I remember right, 4.98.
4.98%.
So then we'll have that assessment hearing on October 28th council meeting so that we can get assessments to Rice County by the end of November, which is statutorily required. That I will take any questions, but we are looking for approval of resolutions 25, 177, 178, 179, and 180.
Corrected for the record. I added an extra one in there. Questions for staff?
I'm just curious, you didn't really know how much per tree that it averaged, or do you have an average or what that would cost per tree?
Not, well, it's about, I think when I added up the 4 contracts, it came in to be like $186,000, and if I remember right, there's about 183 trees, slightly over $1,000 for tree. We had originally anticipated an estimate of around $2,000 a tree. So overall, the bids are very favorable.
Mayor Spooner,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2025-177.
Second.
Motion by Van Sluis, second by Ross. Aye. All opposed? That passes. On to the next one.
Mayor Spooner.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-178.
Mayor Spooner? I'm going to abstain from this vote.
By Ross, second by Barnes.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Mayor Spooner,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2025-179.
Second.
Ross for resolution
Aye.
Aye.
all opposed. Motion passes. And our final one.
Motion to approve resolution 2025-180.
80, all those in favor signify by saying
Aye.
aye. Aye, all opposed. Motion passes. On to item E, resolution 2025-181, accept bids for 505 Central Avenue building demolition, contract 2025-12. Once again, Director Mark.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Before you tonight is a bid for the demolition of 505 Central Avenue. These bids were opened last Wednesday on July 16th. We received 5 bids, with the low bid coming Fitzgerald Excavating and Trucking at just under $32,000. We had estimated the demolition of the building and adjacent pavements for this project to be around $50,000. So again, a favorable bid for this project. Work on this is anticipated to start sometime in late August, early September. October 1st contract completion. Tore down, removed, and then will be black dirt, seed, and blanketing that area as green space for the interim. If there are any questions on the project, I can answer them, but otherwise we are recommending approval of resolution 2025-181.
Mayor Spooner.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-181.
I have a motion by Ross, seconded by
Aye.
Aye.
all opposed. Motion passes. The boards, commission reports, announcements, project updates. Anybody got anything?
So Rogers and Hammerstein Cinderella, it's a youth edition, starts at the Paradise August 1st. It goes for 2 weeks. We also have Crazy Days this weekend throughout the city of Faribault. And the Riverbend Nature Center Ramble is occurring August 9th. I encourage everybody to buy their tickets before August 1st.
I'll be there. Royal, can we see you there at the Riverbend Ramble?
You might this year.
Anybody else? Jessica Kinzer, do you have anything to add to this?
I don't have anything.
You had your hand up earlier. Seeing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Ross, second by Dalmuya to adjourn. All those in favor.
Aye.
We are adjourned.